Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be putting this Badland 12,000 pound winch on the Jeep. So let's get started, guys. Alright, so a quick overview of this winch. As I said, this is the Badland ZXR 12,000 pound winch from Harbor Freight. This is the model with the wire rope, but if you guys like this install, or you're just curious if you can put synthetic rope on these Harbor Freight winches, stick around and we're going to be doing that in another video. So again, this is the Badland ZXR 12,000 pound winch from Harbor Freight. These usually run around $350 right now. For Black Friday, they're running these at $279, so you can get you a good deal on this. And any other 12,000 pound winch on the market is running about $450 to $500 from what I've seen in my looking around. So this is a good deal on just a 12,000 pound winch. And then, as I said, you can put 100 feet of synthetic rope on this and still be well under $400 for this entire setup. So let's open the box and then we'll get to putting this on the Jeep. Alright, so I've got my front two fog lights removed so I can show you guys this Fairlead installation. I would install the Fairlead first and then the winch after. I'm not going to leave this Fairlead on though, because I'm going to go to synthetic rope, so I'm going to have a sleeker Fairlead that's not going to interfere with these fog lights, but the one that comes with the winch does if you're going to keep the steel cable. But let me show you the bolts that come in the package real quick, or the hardware. So you have these thicker, shorter ones, and it only comes with 2 of those. So you're going to put those on your Fairlead, and then it has 4 of these bit longer ones here. And those are going to go in the winch body and secure the winch to your bumper. So when you're putting these on, you're going to put a lock washer, then a flat washer, and then this is going to go through your bumper in the Fairlead, and then the nut will secure it on the other side. And when we put it on the bumper, I'll show you just exactly how the instructions say they want that to go through. Alright, so now we're here at the front bumper, ready to put our Fairlead on. I'm going to grab one of these bolts that we've already put the lock washer on. Going to feed it in from the bumper side. And then we'll hold all this together with one hand. May put a leg under it. Start the nut on there, and we'll do the same to the other side. Now these bolts are 18 mil head, so you'll need an 18 mil socket, and then the nut that goes on the other side is 19 millimeter. You won't be able to get a socket in here unless you have a really low profile socket set. So best thing to use is going to be a 19 millimeter open end wrench or a ratcheting wrench, which either you have will work. Alright, so we're going to put our 19 mil on the nut side, 18 mil on the bolt head, and we'll start tightening this up. Just that simply, now our Fairlead is on. Alright, now that our Fairlead is installed, we're going to get our winch prepped and ready. Let me show you what I mean. So I have all our bolts over here, lock washer and flat washer, both on. Your lock washer goes closer to the head of the bolt, flat washer on the underside. And then these square cut washers that they sent, I'm going to show you where those go. So if you look at each corner of the winch, there's this slot right here. So that is for these. Hopefully I can get it all in the same shot. That's for these square cut nuts to sit in there, and the winch will hold those nuts for you while you start the bolts from the bottom. Okay, so I'll get the other two put on, and then we'll put this on the bumper. So this winch isn't too bad. This is going to be basically the rest of our install from the top except for wiring. Now we got our winch set on here. We'll go underneath and we'll start our bolts. So what you may take underneath rather than your bolt is a screwdriver, and you could take a flathead, a Phillips, anything, and I'm just telling you to potentially take one of those because that may help you line up these holes. You can stick your screwdriver in your bumper hole and find the winch hole and pull it over, left, right, side to side, whatever you need to do to get that hole lined up, and then start your bolt. So let's go underneath, put the bolts in from the underside, get the winch secured down, and then we'll come and do the wiring on the top side. Alright, we're laying under the front bumper now. This is kind of difficult to record, but I wanted to show you what I was talking about earlier. So you see I have a screwdriver here. That right here is one of the mounting holes for our winch. And if it's not quite lined up, you could stick a screwdriver in there, try it to one side or the other. Then once you get it lined up, take our bolt here, thread it in, and then we'll run it all the way down and get it tightened down with either a ratchet or a wrench or whatever you have. So I'm going to finish out these other ones. There's another one right there. I know it's hard to see, and then the other two in the back. So I'll get all those secured down, and then we'll reconvene up top and get this thing wired in. Well, now we've got the winch securely installed. What we're going to do, since it's easy and it's right here, we're going to cut the zip tie holding the cable, feed the cable through our fair lead, put our hook on, and hook it to our front bumper. So let's do that now. Pretty simple. We'll just cut the cable, cut the zip tie, turn our winch to free spool. Get your cable going through your fair lead. Okay. Now we'll just put our hook on. It's easy as putting it through the loop here. Drop your pin through. Alright, now that that's on, we're going to put our keeper through, and then once we get this through the other side, we'll bend both these tabs to either direction, and that'll keep this securely on here. Alright, I grabbed just a different set of pliers so I can bend these down a little better. So I'm going to get it started, and then I'm going to grab the end of this tab, grab the pin it's going through, and just use the pliers, compressing, to close this all the way down. Alright, so I wanted to show you guys how exactly this is going to be wired up, and then I'm going to set the camera up on the tripod and just kind of let it roll while I hook all this up. But it's fairly straightforward. So if you look at these battery ends, they've actually color coded them. So you got a black, a red, and a yellow, and those correspond with these. On the back of the winch here, you got the black, the yellow, and the red. So those three will be attached there. This is your positive cable that's going to go to the positive post of your battery. This really small wire here is a ground. This ground, as well as a ground from your battery, will go on the underside of the winch here. And then they've also included a disconnect, which I got here, that you can put in line so your winch doesn't drain your battery down. So now that I showed you those connections, I'm going to get them hooked up and I'll let the camera roll. detailed install on this Badland 12,000 pound winch. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you want to see how this winch is wired up, stick around. I'm going to show you the details of how this is wired up, where I routed the wiring. Also, if you want to see if this Harbor Freight winch can hold 100 foot of synthetic rope, stick around. We're going to have that video coming up. Let me know if you guys want to see a review on this, and thanks for watching. So, as promised, for those of you that want to see, here's the wiring. The red cable comes out. That goes to your positive battery cable. These other three cables I showed you earlier in the video are all color coded for these posts here. And then there's a post underneath that goes to your negative battery cable. So the negative and positive battery cable, I went under the grill and under this radiator support. I went up the side by this headlight bucket, and I came out by the power steering pump. I knew this would be a good spot. If you watch my LED headlight upgrade video, you'll see I did the same thing with the wiring there. But we come up over the power steering reservoir. They're both zip tied together right by the airbox. Then I come over here, ran them to the negative and positive, and also this battery disconnect is included with the winch kit. So I have not mounted this. I don't really know where I'm going to mount it for sure. That's a good location for right now. It's just kind of hanging there. But if you guys want an update video of where I securely mount this, let me know, and I can always post an update video. So there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching.